Okay, so for years, I've had this love-hate relationship with hash browns. I love hash browns, but making hash browns was quite another story. So, I tried grating them and then frying them up and ending up with gum. You know what I'm talking about? Like it all just kind of gums into one big blob or mush or slime or whatever you want to call it. I could never get my hash browns to turn out right. And so finally I just resorted to chopping them. I would chop them into little cubes, little small cubes, and then fry them up that way. But do you know how long it took me to make breakfast? It took forever. And they really weren't hash browns until one day I discovered the secret to making hash browns right the first time in like 5 minutes. And I have beautiful hash browns. Well, let me show you. So first I started by scrubbing my potatoes, and then I went and cut off all of the all of the eyes or whatever you want to call it, the bad spots. And then I'm going to shred my potatoes in my shredder. So it's going to be a lot of noise. So everybody cover your ears, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing on. Okay, I think it's getting full. So I'm going to grab my strainer. Now this is the secret to hash browns turning out. So once I've got my hash browns shredded, and I'm going to shred a few more here, but I'm going to take them and dump them into my colander. And then I'm going to rinse all of the starch off of my shredded potato. So I'm going to actually finish shredding these up first. Okay, so I am going to rinse all of the starch off of these potatoes. When you first see the water coming out, it's very starchy. So I'm just going to keep rinsing until I get all of that starchy color off of there. Okay, it's starting to turn clear. See how much clearer that's looking now? It's not going to be perfectly clear, but it's going to be close enough. That's looking pretty clear to me. So now the next thing is I'm going to try and get all of the water off of these potatoes, or at least as much as I can. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to grab a cookie sheet and a paper towel. And I'm going to dump my potatoes onto my paper towel. Now I don't always do this every morning, but if I really want them to turn out extra nice, then I'll just throw them on the cookie sheet with a paper towel. Most of the time I just try and let it sit for a few minutes to just let the water drain off. Or if you're in a hurry, you can just do this. Then I'm just going to put a little bit of salt on here. So, I'm going to sprinkle some salt. I salt my potatoes to taste, so you'll just have to figure out how much potatoes you're doing and how much salt you want to put in yours. So I'm just going to mix that together. And now it's ready to fry. Okay, so I've got my cast iron skillet here, and I'm going to turn it on before I put the potatoes in. And I like to use a little bit of coconut and olive oil in the bottom. And I'm just going to take my potatoes and we're just going to set them right in here in my pan. I'm going to turn this on medium heat now that it's nice and warm. Yeah? Are those potatoes? Okay, no.
Is it hot?
Nope, these aren't hot. They will be pretty quick.
I'm just tasting.
Are you just tasting?
Yeah.
Okay. All right then. I'm going to put this back over here. And I'm going to pop a lid on top of that and set a timer for 6 minutes. Okay, so the timer just went off, and we're just going to take it and real carefully flip it over. Ooh, I love those brown parts. Okay, I'm going to actually set that down. Okay, so now that I've flipped everything over, I don't want to mix it up too much because otherwise it'll have a tendency to become a little bit more mushy. And I don't want it to go mushy, so now I'm going to set the timer for another 6 minutes. And as soon as that goes off, the hash browns are ready to eat.
Okay, next tip here. Taejeon makes everything better. It's not spicy hot, but boy is it good.